はい、前回の続きでございます。の時間がやってきましたと。戻る。この人に治療を聞いて終わったので、外に出ましょう。じゃあもう何もないかな。
The train is completely trapped because of the avalanche. Hopefully, not for too long.
ここにいます。じゃあ食堂車の方に行ってみましょうか。自分の部屋なんか調べることないかな。特にないね。中に入る必要性あるかな。一応入ってみるか。今は何もできない。隣の部屋も気になるんだよな。
Good morning, madam. I am Hercule Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I am afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Ratchet, was murdered last night.
Oh my God! I knew it! I knew it!
I would like to ask you some questions, but first, may I inspect your room?
Of course, yes, you must.
全然忘れちゃったな。
I was visiting my daughter. She works at the American Embassy in Istanbul. I told her she'd never find a husband there. Since I wanted to see Paris on my way home, she told me I should take this high-class train. I can't wait to see Paris. It looks beautiful in the movies, but it couldn't be more beautiful than Schenectady in the good old US of A. That's where I'm living now. I was visiting my daughter. She works at the American Embassy in Istanbul. I told her she'd never find a husband there. Since I wanted to see Paris on my way home, she told me I should take this high-class train. I can't wait to see Paris. It looks beautiful in the movies, but it couldn't be more beautiful than Schenectady in the good old US of A. That's where I'm living now.
アメリカ人。60いってんのかな。37には見えないよね。管理。メイドかな。管理かな。どうかな。
I do not think that's the right answer. I must admit I'm not right this time.
主婦なんだ。
That's the right answer. Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
そうなんだよ。高価なものはね、一回拭いちゃうと洗濯しなくちゃいけないでしょ。
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Ratchet. It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive. Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind, here is a jacket button. It bears the logo of the Orient Express.
映画の中ではさ、帽子のケースを借りて、その2つの帽子ケースの間に、なんか紙をね挟んで燃やしてね、なんか文字を読むっていうシーンがあったんですけど、それがないんだね。残念だね。
This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side. Let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail. I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure.
じゃあもういいのかな。調べられないのか。じゃあいいや。
Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you.
動かないな。彼はフランスでしょ。これが言ってんのかな。管理者。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. What is the last station where we stopped?
Winkowski.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
昨日の夜、なんかいろんなことがあったけど、あの出来事が起きたのは駅を出発してからなんだな。何を聞いたらいいかな。なくなったボタン。
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No. Tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Ratchet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgium.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman. Anthony's secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé," I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hobart. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Ratchet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
ミッシェル氏の行動を再現しましょう。呼び出す。列車が運より立ち往生する。ここかな。動かないの。マークインの氏のベッドメイキングに行く。ベッドメイキングに行く。マークイン。列車が立ち往生する。ラジェットはミッシェルを呼び出す。ミッシェルを呼び出す。それから彼らのわかんねえな。どうなんだろうな。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
動かない。
My little gray cells did not let me down.
会話、殺人のあったようなミッシェル氏との遭遇。要素を2つを。ミッシェルとの遭遇から見解。じゃあ、ちょっと待ってよ。これ何？殺人のあった夜、フランス語を話していたようだ。英語しか喋れない。見た。
The murderer may have impersonated Ratchet by calling Monsieur Michel to make it seem that Ratchet was still alive at 12:37 a.m. That's the right answer.
ラチェットは睡眠薬を飲む。犯人はラチェットの部屋に入る。犯人は銃でこれはないね。ラチェットは睡眠を飲む。ラチェットに入る。ナイフで殺す。生きていると思われるために犯人は窓から部屋を出るためどうかな。飲む。ロケットに入る。ナイフでこれかな。カーソルが動かないんだけどな。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
サロンカーです。バー。
So, Poirot, I hope you are progressing in your investigation.
I have not finished yet, but it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I will report to you as soon as I can.
誰もいない。はいけないんだ。さて次何やったらいいんだろう。見失っちゃったな。フランス語が喋れる人って誰だっけ？フランス語が喋れる人に聞きたいよね。すごい山だね。雪崩が起きてもしょうがないよね、こんなところに。2023年にこんなところに線路を引くかな。でもしょうがないな。何したらいいか分からなくなっちゃったな。聞いてもしょうがないな。何をしていいか分かんなくなっちゃったな。ちょっと一旦やめようかな、今回は。手詰まりっていうか、ちょっと頭休めたいので、ここら辺で今回は。